So today is the day, 1st of February 2022, when all of you are really excited to know as to what is in store for the budget 2022, and we all are expecting our FinMin to be here anytime. So everyone, I'm sure, is excited. Oh, I guess I can hear something from the reporter, and let's go live and see what is in store today.
कल से तुमको 3 गुना लगान देना पड़ेगा।
Hey folks, CA Rachana Ranade here, and I welcome you all to a brand new video, which is a Republic Day special video on can our finance minister charge 3 guna lagan, that is nothing but 3 times taxes. So in this video, not only are we going to discuss a lot of amazing concepts about tax, but we are also going to discuss about how can we reduce tax towards the end of the video. So keep on watching till the end. Let me remind you all one more time that all these creative people are spammers. That's how my account looks like. Also remember, I never give my mobile number in any chat. I neither have an advisory nor do I give any stock tips. Now let's start with what is the meaning of taxes and what are the different types of taxes. So taxes are mandatory contributions collected from individuals and business organizations by the government. So in simple words, tax is nothing but money which is collected by whom? Collected by the government. From whom? Either individuals or from business organizations, in simple words. Okay, we are not going to go into the definition of who is person, SSE and all that. We are going to simplify this right now. Okay, so why is this tax collected by the government? Because government also has a lot of expenditure which is to be met. Expenditure like what? It could be expenditure like on defense, it could be on expenditure on education, it could be expenditure on healthcare, it could be expenditure on infrastructure and so many more, right? Who is going to pay for all these things? It's going to be people like you and me who are going to pay for that, and that is in the nature of taxes, right? So whenever government collects any sort of tax, there are 2 different types of taxes which the government collects. One is known as a direct tax and another is known as an indirect tax. Now let's quickly understand one by one what is the meaning of these, what are the examples of these. Direct tax is a tax wherein the person who earns bears the brunt of tax. Okay, so let me give you a simple example. Here we have Mr. Chandu, and Chandu is a salaried person at some organization. Is he earning salary? Yeah, see, Chandu is happy, he's earning salary. But what happened to his face? Because now he's going to pay a part of this amount to the government. Okay, so who earned? Chandu earned. Who paid the tax? Chandu paid the tax. Okay, so the burden of tax is on whom? On the person who earns the income. That is a classic example of direct tax. One example of direct tax is what? Income tax. Simple, right? Now let's go to the example of what is GST, what is indirect tax. Okay, and one best example of indirect tax is GST. Okay, so again let me give you an example. Now Chandu is a businessman and Chandu owns a pizza shop, let us say. Okay, Chandu is selling pizza to that person, whatever is his name. The person is enjoying the pizza. Once his pizza is over, he's going to pay the bill. Okay, now please pay attention. What is he paying? He is paying the amount to Mr. Chandu, but that also comes up with a small amount, and what is that? GST. Okay, so here who is earning money? Chandu is earning money, but is Chandu paying GST from his own pocket? Nope. GST is collected from the customer and then it is paid to the government, right? So I hope you have understood that in indirect tax, what happens is that the taxes burden, the burden of tax is shifted from the person who is earning the income to the person who is spending money. Okay, so I hope you have understood what is the difference between a direct tax and indirect tax with examples. Now that we have understood the meaning of tax and types of tax, now a very important point comes up is who has the power to levy taxes. Levy means charge. Okay. Now, back in those days, like we discussed in the pre-bumper, Captain Russell used to come and say, "Kal se tumko 3 guna lagan dena padega." End of the story. No one was in a position to question that person, right? Can our finance minister come and say, "Tumko 3 guna lagan dena padega"? No. Why? Simple reason is that India is an independent and republic country, right? Everyone knows the meaning of independent, but what is the meaning of republic? A country who has its own constitution is a republic country, right? Here, I'm sure everyone knows that we adopted our constitution on 26th of January 1950, and that is the reason why we celebrate 26th January as our Republic Day, right? But what is given in this Constitution of India? So please understand, the constitution has laid down a lot of provisions, and one of the provision is related to charging and collecting taxes. Okay, so 100% attention for next 2 minutes. There is an article 265 in the Constitution of India, and what does it state? It states that no tax shall be levied or collected except by authority of law. Now, what is the meaning of this? This article says that if you have to levy means what? Charge. You can charge taxes, you can collect taxes, agreed, but only by authority of law. A law has to be there, a law has to be passed, then only you can charge and collect taxes. But Article 265 doesn't talk about who has the power to actually make a law, right? Then where is this power given? This power of making a law is given in article number 246. What does this state? Article 246 of Constitution of India empowers whom? The Parliament and state legislatures for what? Making laws on the matters listed in 7th schedule and to levy and collect taxes. So basically, I hope you have understood that two articles are important. Which two articles? 246 and 265. What does 265 say? 265 says, okay, you can levy and collect taxes if it is provided in law. But 246 says, okay, you have the power even to make laws. But make laws on what? Make laws on the matters listed in 7th schedule. But what is in this 7th schedule is what we are going to discuss in the next part of the video. Alright, so now let's start with the 7th schedule in article 246. Okay, what does this schedule contain? It contains 3 lists, right? List 1 is known as the union list, list 2 is known as the state list, and list 3 is known as the concurrent list. Okay, in list 1, which is the union list, here Parliament has exclusive powers to make laws, to levy taxes and to collect taxes as well, right? In list 2, the legislatures of any states have the exclusive power to make laws in whatever matters contained in list number 2. So I hope you have understood. List 1, who had the power to make laws? It was Parliament. In list 2, who has the power to make laws? It is the states. And in list 3, which is concurrent, Parliament as well as states both have the power to make laws. Simple and clear. But you might be like, where is income tax here? Income tax comes under list 1. Okay, so here primary power is given under list 1, that is to the Parliament. List 1 of what? 7th schedule. Of which article? 246. Simple and clear. So if someone asks tomorrow, who has given the power to the government to charge income tax to me? This has given the power. Simple and clear. Any example of list 2? Yes, excise duty. I'm sure you might have heard about that. That comes under list 2. And in list 3, no specific tax comes up under list 3, but there are other matters which are covered under list 3. And now comes an amazing section wherein you will understand that the budget which is presented on 1st of February, by the way, normal people like you and me, we call it as a budget. Technically, it is called as a finance bill. Okay, so in this section, we are going to understand how the finance bill gets converted into the Finance Act. Okay, super interesting part coming up. So stay glued for another 2-3 minutes, right? So what happens? The finance minister will present the finance bill in the Lok Sabha first. Okay, so let's take an example. While she is presenting the bill, she says that now I propose that the corporate tax is going to be increased from 25% to 75%. Control. Example. Okay. So you have understood, right? What are going to be the emotions? No need for me to portray it on the screen, right? But on the contrary, if the finance minister says that the corporate rates, which are currently at 25%, are going to be slashed to 15%. Wow. And then, exactly. Kya baat hai? That is going to be the reaction from all the supporters, right? Okay, so does it happen that finance minister says this and immediately from tomorrow, 2nd February, this is going to be passed? That doesn't happen, right? So first step number 1 is what? The bill will be bill means what? Budget, right? Finance bill will be presented first in Lok Sabha, then it will be passed in the Lok Sabha by a majority of the members, right? Then step number 2 is that the bill will now be presented to Rajya Sabha. I'm sure you might be knowing these basic things, that in Lok Sabha more representation is from the center, right? But in Rajya Sabha, the major representation is from the states. So see how beautifully our constitution has been drafted. It takes care that any law which is being passed, at least the center as well as states both get their say at least in the entire lawmaking process, right? So in the Rajya Sabha, again the bill will be laid, and then whatever are the suggestions, whatever are the views of the members, they will be taken into consideration. Okay, they are listed down. Now what happens? Is the law passed? No. Then again it will go to Lok Sabha. In the Lok Sabha, whatever the suggestions were given by the members of Rajya Sabha, they'll be put forth, some solution will be taken out for that, right? And finally the law will be passed. No. Nothing happens in India before the president's approval. Okay. So after this second round of Lok Sabha, then the bill will go to the president's approval. Typically, it goes somewhere around 15th of March if I'm talking about finance bill. Then the president will have his or her own views, and finally it will be passed. And then the finance bill will become a finance act, which becomes applicable from 1st of April. I hope you have understood the entire lawmaking process. If you have liked it, just don't say, hey! What do you have to do? You have to hit that like button. I still feel that some of you might have a confusion in your mind that I was talking about income tax, but then I was also talking about finance bill and finance act. So what is the exact connection between Income Tax Act and Finance Act? So if you read here, what is written on Income Tax Act? It's Income Tax Act 1961. Has it changed since then? Answer is no. So you will not see Income Tax Act 2019, 2020, 2021. No, it is still 1961 Act. But if you talk about Finance Act, you will see Finance Act for each and every year. So you will see Finance Act for 2019, 20, 21, 22 and so forth. Okay, so now what is the connection between these two? Let's understand. So assume that the government says we want to give some additional concession for those who are making EVs. Okay, so basically some new section has to be added. Where will it be added? In Income Tax Act directly or in Finance Act? It will be added in the Finance Act. So basically Finance Act will be read along with the Income Tax Act for a proper interpretation. Okay, so if one more example, if you want to change the tax rate, the example that I took in the previous section of the video, from 20% or from 25% to 15%, will it be changed in the Income Tax Act? Our Income Tax Act doesn't talk about tax rates only. The tax rates are mentioned in Finance Act. Okay, so whenever you have to have a holistic picture, you have to read both these in combination so that you get a better picture. So let me just quickly sum it up. If you want to make any amendments, are you going to directly make amendments to Income Tax Act? Nope, it will be made to the Finance Act. If you want to add any sections, will be added to the Finance Act. If you want to insert any clarification, again in the Finance Act. Change in tax rate, in the Finance Act. I hope I have given you enough examples for you to understand that it has to be looked holistically both together to get a better clarity on the acts. I'm sure you have got to know a lot about taxes, but still the burning question remains as to how to save taxes, right? Any percentage of tax rate is there in India, still that question is going to remain the same, right? Even if government says 10% tax, you're going to be like, Bapre, kiti tax jato hai, I need to save taxes. Even if it is 20%, same, 30%, same. And do you know what is the effective tax rate of India, effective tax rate in India right now? Highest one is at 42.74%. And you might be like, Arey, we had at 30%, how 42.74%? I'm going to discuss the breakup of this 42.74% in the next section of the video. But before that, if you feel that this is like super high, now listen to this piece of information. In the year 1973-74, under the regime of Indira Gandhi ji, the highest slab tax rate was 97.75%. I really wonder who might be very religiously disclosing all the income at that time, because you would be slogging really hard and just to earn barely 2.25% in your pocket. Balance 97.75% goes to the government only. So this was a maddening figure, I believe. But finally, in the year 1974-75, Mr. Y.B. Savant cut this maximum marginal rate of income tax to 75%. Still from 97.75 but still to 75%. Today we are crying at 10, 20, 30%, right? But still, as I mentioned, kuch bhi ho jaye, still crying is common, na? It has to be there. So now let's try and understand how can we reduce our taxes, very important, legally. Okay, there could be multiple ways. There are sections 80C, 80D, 80E and loads of other sections. Today I'm going to quickly brief you on medical insurance premium, right? I have told this 1001 times on my channel that you must have an insurance. What is the importance of medical insurance? Basically is that, let's say you meet with an accident or you are having some health issues, that entire expenditure will be taken care of if you have a proper medical insurance, right? So it's as good as protection ka protection bhi mil jayega, plus kuch tax bhi save ho jayega, right? So it's, in Marathi we call it as eka dagda don pakshi. Okay, so which is the section which gives us this deduction? It is section 80D of the Income Tax Act. It says that if you're paying any amount of medical premium, okay, insurance premium, you'll get a maximum amount of 25,000 as a deduction. Okay, just to give you a quick example, if I pay 10,000 rupees only, will I get 25,000 deduction? No, I'll get only 10,000 deduction. But if I pay 25,000 as an insurance premium, will I get entire amount as a deduction? Answer is yes. Okay. Now deduction is for whom? Okay, deduction is for the person who is paying, agreed. But the insurance is for whom? Insurance can be for self, or can be for the spouse, or can be for dependent children. Okay, all put together, what is the highest possible deduction available? Is 25,000. Now assume that I also want an insurance for my parents. Okay, and I pay an additional 25,000 premium for them. Can I get deduction additionally for my parents? So basically assume that I'm paying 25,000 for my medical insurance plus spouse plus children, that is 25,000, plus for my parents also I'm paying 25,000 insurance premium. Will I get entire 50,000 as a deduction? Answer is yes. Now one more important point is that if my parents are senior citizens, wherein the insurance premium might be a bit higher, assume that I'm paying 50,000 insurance premium for my senior citizen parents. In that case, what can be the highest deduction possible? It will be 25,000, originally me, my spouse and children put together, plus 50,000 for my parents. So it can be a maximum amount of 75,000 that I can get as a deduction. Okay, but as I mentioned, it will be amount paid or the deduction amount, whichever is lower. Okay, but now the big question is that if I know all these points, where can I get an appropriate medical insurance policy? And for that, Policy Bazaar can be really helpful for you. Basically, Policy Bazaar, it understands the requirements of the consumer. They'll guide you through the entire process and will help you to choose the right policy for you. In fact, on Policy Bazaar, they have a lot of health insurance policies wherein premium starts at as low as 200 rupees for an insurance cover. Of course, if you choose a higher amount of cover, your amount of premium will also go on increasing. You can select from a wide range of policies depending on your needs, on your budget. And I feel the most important point is that whenever there is a need for a claim support, Policy Bazaar supports the customers at the time of claim, and they'll reach out to you within 30 minutes of contacting them. In fact, there is a dedicated claims department for all claims related problems that a customer may face, and Policy Bazaar also provides you supports in hospitals. So for example, if there is any customer who is facing any challenge at the hospital, then the Policy Bazaar representative will visit the customer at the hospital and resolve all the challenges that the customer is facing. So if you want to know more about the various health insurance policies available with Policy Bazaar, you can check out the link in the description box. You know, everyone actually feels a lot about how much taxes do I have to pay, right? Everyone is interested in how much taxes one person pays for himself. But many a times, you know, we go in the gossip mode and we want to know that how much Shah Rukh Khan pays tax, how much Rachana pays tax. That is one question that is there in your minds. So if you want to know how much tax do I pay, you have to check out this section of the video, right? So these are the different tax slabs. Okay, if the income is up to 2,50,000 per year, then you need not pay any tax. Okay, so on and so forth. And ideally, I can tell you that I fit into the last one, where the total income exceeds 10 lakh rupees, not per day, I'm talking about per year. Okay, so total income exceeds 10 lakh rupees. In that case, how much do I have to pay? I have to pay 30% tax. Okay, 30% will be the slab rate in which I fit. But then you might be like, but the highest was that 42 point something, right? So let's get to the calculation of how that journey from 30% begins and ends at 42.74. So for that, if you check out here, there is something known as surcharge. Now, what is a surcharge? Surcharge is levied if your income which income again? Yearly income I'm talking about. If it exceeds 50 lakh rupees. Okay. So basically surcharge is what? Surcharge is like a tax on tax. It's a tax which has to be paid over and above your 30% in our example. Okay. So how much surcharge is to be paid? So assume that for a person whose income is between 50 lakhs to 1 crore. So greater than 50 lakhs but less than 1 crore. That person has to pay additional 10% surcharge. So assume that a person is earning 70 lakhs. For that, he is fitting into the 30% slab plus 10% surcharge. So 30 plus 10 is equal to 40. No. 30% plus 10% of 30. 10% of 30? 3%. Correct? So 30% plus 3%, that will be 33% for that person. Plus there is something known as cess which is coming up. Wait. Now the big question is, where do I fit? Less than 1 crore, maybe. Less than 2 crore, maybe. Less than 5 crore. It's up to your imagination, guys. Okay. So if you feel, I'm not saying yes, but if you feel that my income is greater than 5 crore annually, then in that case, I'll have to pay 37% surcharge. 37% of what? 37% of 30%. Okay. So if I were to calculate 30% into 37%, that comes to how much? That comes to 11.1. Okay. So 11.1 I'm going to add to what? I'm going to add to 30. So my effective tax rate now has come up to what? 41.1% effective tax rate. But wait, there's something known as cess. It's health and education cess. That is 4%, which is over and above your base tax slab rate, in our example 30%, plus the surcharge and plus the cess. And that is why the effective tax rate will come up to 42.74%. So if you truly believe that my income is over and above 5 crores, then yes, I would be paying 42.74% tax. Well, I hope you enjoyed this Republic Day special video. Now you have an answer to the question, 3 guna lagan dena parega is not going to work in the independent and Republic India now. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed all the concepts that I have covered in this entire video. Plus, we also discussed how to save taxes. Don't forget to check out the link in the description box. And if you want to know more about how to save taxes in other means as well, you can click here. And if you want to know more about GST, which is one more type of tax, you can click here. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye-bye.